Hello, everybody. Joining me is Carla Gustafson, who we now can say is not just a STEM parent, but also the newest STEM board member. So she has joined the STEM board of directors. Carla, thank you for joining us and congratulations on the new role.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So the first thing that we want to do is get to know you, allow for our community to get a better idea of your background and what motivated you to go ahead and move forward with this role. So let's just start with your professional and personal background. I know you have a direct connection to STEM because you have a student who goes there, correct?
Correct. Yeah. We first joined STEM as part of the community back in 2016. Our oldest son was getting ready for middle school, and we were trying to decide where that was going to be. And the small school aspect, the technology, the STEM, that was both big drivers for us. And once he got accepted, that's been a great thing for us ever since. So that's I guess how we ended up at STEM to begin with. I've participated in the past with some, volunteer-wise Driveline committee and most recently SAC committee in this last year. And when this opportunity arose to join the board, I thought it was a great opportunity, and I really wanted to kind of continue my volunteer efforts and do what I could to support the school.
Well, that's wonderful. Let's talk about your professional background. For those who are not familiar, it sounds like you're the perfect pick for this because you have a background that's pretty deep in engineering. A lot of our students from STEM end up becoming engineers and architects. So what have you been doing in your career life prior to this role?
Sure. So I'm a chemical engineering graduate from Colorado School of Mines. I grew up in Colorado and ended up working with a firm, American company, first of all in New Mexico and then most recently in Colorado, but do design engineering specifically for clients like Department of Energy, National Nuclear Security Association. Los Alamos National Laboratory is a perfect example. They have research laboratories and they have equipment that they need to change out. And so I started out in piping and process design, supporting their laboratory upgrades, and have worked up through project management. And right now I'm in an engineering manager role, which really is great for me professionally because I still get to somewhat be technical or work with technical folks. But what I really have a passion for is supporting our team, both technical and otherwise, from mentoring, coaching. How do we do employee development and support our team to work together and be the best folks we can, professionally there, as well as on the team side. So that's also something professionally, not just the technical side, but I volunteered in a lot of committees at our company, which I was grateful to have that focus on culture. And so those are the sorts of things that I enjoy.
And let's talk about this particular role with the STEM Board of Directors. What motivated you to pursue this role? What's the driving force behind it for you?
I think it's definitely wanting to be involved. A few years back, I first started out on Driveline committee and got to work with Robert Hernstra and really enjoyed kind of finding out a little bit more about what it really took to do something like set up a new driveline system, which was a lot. And then when there was an opening on SAC committee, I signed up, and there wasn't, it didn't even have to go through an election because unfortunately we didn't have that many volunteers, but I'd love the opportunity again to find out more about what it really takes, what's really going on at STEM, to run that day to day, and trying to continue those discussions and engaging parents and supporting the teachers and the staff. And it just takes, a lot of work and discussion to support that. And so if that to me is a fit, again, where I like to participate and see what I can bring to the table.
And speaking of what you're going to bring to the table, have you looked at any priorities or initiatives that you're going to hit the ground running with this new role? Or are you really just trying to get a feel for it and get to know the other board members? Or do you have a plan already in place for what you're going to be looking at?
Oh, I think, I definitely am interested in a lot of the discussions that have come about with teacher retention and because I think a lot of that relates to engaging with the parents and knowing that you know, having both myself and Kelly join the board as two new parent representatives, I think that's going to help with those communications, help with those discussions. Not that, you know, we're still in that role just to try to support the school. And so, but I think most importantly, trying to be there to make those connections and have those discussions. The more we talk, the more we figure out, you know, where our disconnects are, and we can support each other. I guess that's my big picture view, is what can I do to help facilitate those discussions, or where can I support the overall school.
And do you have a strong passion for the school itself? Do you see a lot of things that are special about the school and where our students are headed? How do you feel about the school in general, since you have a pretty good perspective of it being a parent?
Well, I mean, I think what, you know, like I said, originally attracted, we were looking for, you know, middle school for my son, my oldest son, and the small school size was huge for me. The technology was the STEM. I mean, having an engineering background, my husband's an engineer too, and seeing that in our kids. So that to me it has been exactly what we were looking for our oldest son. He's made those personal connections, those social connections, as well as finding things he has a passion for with, you know, best robotics, for example, was one of his things that he's really enjoyed. And looking forward, you know, I have a younger son who's at a neighborhood school, but he wants to be just like his big brother and go to STEM for middle school and high school. So I know I have more of the secondary perspective as a parent, but you know, I think the overall school is amazing. You know, I think it's so wonderful to have this opportunity for parents that are looking for this starting in kindergarten, and to have that all the way through. When I look at myself going to a small town high school, I didn't get to see any of that cool technology stuff until I got to college, and these kids are getting to do it, you know. It's starting in kindergarten sometimes, but for sure high school is more like the opportunities I had in college. So I have a huge passion for what the school represents and the opportunities it provides for all these students.
Yeah, I was reminded just recently of how amazing the school is and how early the kids start with technology. When I was in a kindergarten class shooting a promotional video, and you know, I'm getting video of the kids in the class, and then I turn around right behind me and there's a 3D printer machine that's printing sleds for their Iditarod experiment that they were doing. So the fact that you have a 3D printing machine going in a kindergarten class at STEM, that's something pretty special.
It is. I agree. It's very special.
Is there anything else that you would like our community to know about you that maybe we didn't cover, or do you think we got most of it out there?
I hope we got most of it out there. I'm just, you know, excited for the new role. I know there's a lot. I see how much work goes into being on the board with, you know, some of the more meetings I've participated in, mainly in Zoom over the last year. And I know there's a lot of work behind the scenes. So just trying to hopefully help with that and keep us all going in that positive direction is my goal.
Yeah, well, I know that there are many, many people who are looking forward to having both you and Kelly in these new roles, especially two individuals who really have their feet on the ground already at STEM and have been assisting with the school for quite some time. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure I'll be following up with you on topics relating to the board in the future. And have a great week.
Thank you so much, Jeff.